The Fed's going to meet this week, and it's pretty much a guarantee that they're going to drop rates by another 0.25%. This is your host, Ron Wojciechowski, for the Black Hole of Real Estate. And everybody's talking about interest rates, and why not? Because they're coming down. We were at a time a year ago where the rates were like 7.5%. If you could even qualify, there was a lot of restrictions on there. And the good news is that we are floating right down to where we knew that we would be, because we've been talking about it all year long. Last week, they put out the numbers that interest rates were at 6.19%. So the lowest they've been in well over a year. And that's really good news for consumers that want to use a mortgage to purchase a home. And that's for 30-year fixed rates. If you're looking at a 15-year, the rates are lower. They're in mid-fives right now. I saw one report where it was between 5.44 and 5.52. So that's a solid rate, mid-fives, if you want to go to a 15-year mortgage. And in the direction, what we're looking at right now is we're going to be flirting with rates in that 5.875 range between this month and next month. And it's really, really good. And if you can go to the 15-year rates, you're going to be pushing down right towards the 5% line. Maybe if you have to pay a discount point or something to achieve that. But then you've got that for the whole 15 years. Now, it will amortize faster for you, so you pay it off faster because it's 15 years instead of 30. But it's going to move that mortgage payment up probably 50%. It's going to be much more money per month. But if you can do it in the long run, it's a lot less interest you have to pay back over the life of the loan. Now, keep in mind, if you do the 30-year mortgage and you're in that 6% range, but you want to make extra payments, there is a way that you can absolutely pay it off in what they call self-amortization. You just pay extra every month, and then it will come down because it goes to principal. So here's how it looks. Let's suppose that you wanted to make 13 payments instead of 12 payments in a year. You could divide out your mortgage payment by 12, and you can find out how much that one extra monthly payment might cost you. So let's just suppose the payment was $2,000, and you need to come up with, that divided by 12. You take that number, you add it onto your monthly payment, and that's what you send every month. Now, for simple numbers, let's just say that your payment was $1,200. Well, 12 divided by 12 is 100, right? So you send $1,300 a month, you send the $1,200 mortgage payment, and then in the addition to principal area, you check the box there, you send the extra 100. Now, what does that do for you? Well, what it means is that extra 100 per month, after 7.5 years, you guessed it, it's going to pay down 7.5 years faster is what I want to tell you. So it makes a 30-year mortgage come down to 22.5 years. So the 7.5 years of savings can really add up for you. That's going to be about 80 payments times 1,200. Do the math, about 100,000 less in interest that you have to pay back. So the savings could absolutely be significant. Now, you can also do the same thing with a 15-year mortgage or any other mortgage by just paying extra every month. And then $100 can really add up if it's something that's in your budget and you can afford to do. So really, really good stuff on the horizon for those that are going to use financing to get a home loan. The Fed is going to meet October 28th to 29th. So this week, we will know if they're going down 0.25 point. And I think that's where it's going to be. There's a little bit of talk about going down 0.5 point. I don't know that that's going to happen. Now, keep in mind, last month when they did this, the rates were moving down, all the way up to the day of the Fed meeting announcement, and they spiked up just a little bit. And I expect that maybe by the end of this week, we might be looking at 6.125, something like that. And it might bounce back up to 6.2 for just a little bit. And then the big avalanche comes December 8th and 9th. They'll drop another 0.25%. And I believe that's where you're going to see the rate get to 5.875 for just a little bit, float back to 6. And there you have it. We're going to touch down right in that range between now and the end of the year. If the Fed does go with a 0.5% drop this week, then you might see it within the next week. Either way, what we're noticing is there's an increase in activity with these rate drops. Would it surprise you to find out that September year-over-year home sales in Florida for single-family homes dropped 13%, 13.6 year-over-year? And that's Florida Realtors giving us that information. They're also showing that condos and townhomes are up 8%. So the number of condos and townhomes sold is 8% more than last year at this time. So those numbers are trending in the proper direction. If sales are increasing and the mortgage payments are coming down, What do you think is going to happen to price? I think price will tick up just a little bit. And I would expect 3 to 4% increase because that's what they've been doing year over year for each quarter this year. It's been up about 3% the first, second, and third quarter. So by fourth quarter, you might be looking at the same thing. If you're waiting for the market to crash and drop, I would want you to examine that waiting 2 or 3 years for it to happen, the prices have gone up significantly. And sitting on the sidelines has cost a lot of would-be home buyers a lot of money in the purchase price. So this may be, and we're talking about this, the biggest window of opportunity that we might see for some time because the prices are fairly stable and relatively low right now for what they're going to be on each month as we see the increase in the number of sales and the drop in interest rates. Yeah. So if you want to crack the code, this absolutely could be the best time for you to make a purchase for the foreseeable future. Now, we could be wrong about that, but the data suggests that this is spot on. It's the window of opportunity that I would invite all of you to take a look at. So if you're thinking of doing something between now and the end of the year, I would really get the alert set up, whoever you're going to work with on real estate, or if you're going to do it yourself, because you will begin to see more homes coming on the market because of these rate drops and increased activity than you've probably seen in the last couple of years. There will be some really interesting properties coming on the market by people who are now ready to make the trade-off for their 3% mortgage or 4% mortgage for a 5 or a 6 or something like that. The numbers are compressing in such a way that it's going to make sense for a lot of those people. If you got questions, please drop us a line. Definitely hit the subscribe button and let's follow along. This is your host, Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.